As I told you before, let me share my screen first. As I told you before, I was going to continue working with the subjunctive, even if let's say I repeat a couple of things. Now, I did this back in 2014, so God knows that's what, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I did it in Word versus in cards. And I think it's important that that students get the subjunctive from all different perspectives and all different ways. So here we go. Subjunctive language cards, verbs which when followed by cake sometimes require the subjunctive in the subordinate clause. So these are verbs that do not always require, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. Oh, by the way, if you want to know how to spell my name, this is how you spell my name. If you want to look for me, this is how you spell my name. You see how many pages this is? But they're big letters, so. Okay. Excuse me. So, number one, you see this asterisk here. This asterisk here tells you that this verb is irregular. It may not be irregular in all tenses, but in basically when it's irregular, let's say in the present, in the preterite, not in the imperfect, not in the future. It might be irregular in the future. I don't know because it might be a Y there. And it could be irregular. It could be in the past participle. Okay. I have to think about creer. And a lot of times I have to do those creo, creas, crea, and do the verb. But it's irregular. And it means to believe that. You can also translate it to, depending on how you're using it, to think that. But look what I have here for all of these verbs. Normally, this verb is normally used in the indicative, but can be placed in the subjunctive when the meaning is more hypothetical or hesitant, barely translatable. That is, the speaker is telling you, even though this verb is normally used in the indicative, the speaker is telling you that they're not sure. They're not sure, or we're talking about a hypothetical case versus a real case. Okay, and the reason is barely translatable because in English, how do you translate that? The doubt that you have without adding more words. So if I see it, if I see no creo que hables español versus que creo que hablas español. The one creo que hablas español would be, I think, he speaks English. I believe he speaks English, okay? And so you are saying that almost no doubt in your mind, he speaks English. But if you say, creo que hables español, you're saying, well, his mother and father speaks English or Spanish, Spanish. His family speaks Spanish. But I've never heard him speaking Spanish. So even though I'm mostly sure, I'm letting you know by using the subjunctive that I'm not totally sure. And that's the decision of the speaker to use one mood versus another. I've heard it. And I know immediately, because I know my rules, I said, oh, he's telling me that he's not sure. He's almost sure, but he's enough unsure to use a different mood. Okay, another verb that falls into that category is parecer que, plus the subjunctive of the verb, which means to seem or to appear that. Once again, normally in the indicative, but can be placed in the subjunctive when the meaning is more hypothetical or hesitant. And barely translatable because I know because you changed the structure in Spanish. The only way I can do that in English, I have to do a lot more explaining. Sospechar, okay, plus the subjunctive of the verb. To suspect that. Normally in the indicative, but can be placed in the subjunctive when the meaning is more hypothetical or hesitant. Once again, barely translatable. These are these kind of verbs. Suponer que, to suppose that. Normally indicative, but hypothetical or hesitant in the subjunctive, and you really can't just translate it. You'd have to explain. Now, these are subjunctive language cards, verbs which, when followed by que, and of course, if the subject is different in the second clause from the first clause, because the subject has to be different, always require the subjunctive in the subordinate clause. So if the independent clause is with the expression, the subordinate clause, and that's the clause after the K, must be in a subjunctive. Let's look at the cards. And once again, that's how you spell my name. You've seen this, especially if you've looked at some of those pink purple cards that I have. You've seen this. But I will have verbs that you haven't seen before. Because I made this back in 2014. And I said, well, it's just sitting in the computer. Why not make a video of it? So maybe if I say it 1,001 times, you'll get it. Aconsejar que, plus the subjunctive of the verb, to advise that. Animar a que. And of course, plus the subjunctive of the verb, to encourage to. I encourage you to, I don't know, get good grades. Causar que. That's a subjunctive of the verb, to cause. Conseguir que, to succeed in. Lograr que, to succeed in. Lograr means to succeed or to be, es un logro, it's a success, es un éxito, it's a success. I did it, accomplishment. Contribuir a que. So you see some have just the K, other verbs have a que. That's the nature of the verb. And that you have to memorize. Which do you use with just the K and which do you use with the a que, to contribute to. Cuidar de que, to take care that. Okay. Once again, it's not a que, it's de que. Decir que, we've seen this, I've talked about the verb decir, using the indicative and as well as using the subjunctive. Now, when you're using it and it's followed by a que and the person in the first part of the sentence is different from the well, you're not going to order yourself. I don't think. Digo que hables con tu mamá. You're not going to say to yourself, you know, I demand that you talk to your mother, you know. So digo que, now there is not saying say or tell, it's saying like command, you know, command or implore or, no, not implore. It's command, it's stronger than to implore. Dificultar que, plus a subjunctive, to hinder, to act as an obstacle. Esforzarse porque, not que. Esforzarse porque, plus the subjunctive of the verb, to make an effort to. Evitar que, to avoid. Impedir que, to avoid. Exigir que, to require that. Exigir is to require something. Una persona muy exigida es una persona that always requires something, never satisfied. Hacer falta que, to be necessary, that. Hacer falta is the verb, hacer falta. Okay, you know what? This is going a little bit longer than I would like. And look at all those pages. But I think I'm gonna try to do as many of these cards as possible. Hacer que, to make someone do something. That kind of make, not make as if to create. Let me do about 3 or 4 more, and then I'm going to do another set of cards. You know what? I'll do it to page 25. Insistir in and que, to insist on. Some of these are very obvious. Empeñarse en que, to insist on. Some of these are very obvious. Mandar que, to order that. Mandar, of course, when it means order, not when it means to send. Ordinar que, to order that. So this is page 25. So what I'll do is, in the next video, I'll do another 25. That way I'll break it up and it's not all. And this is the subjunctive. And these are expressions that you use with the subjunctive. I think I showed you, let me see. You know what, I'll do it on the next video. I'll show you the placemat. I think I showed the place. Yes, I did. I showed the placemat. But just in case you're just watching this video because you see the word subjunctive and you say, maybe this person can help me, that is, maybe I can help you to understand the subjunctive. Okay, so these are expressions that always, and notice the que, a que, de que, por que, but there's that que there. It's not, but you don't always use que, just in these type of expressions. I'll show you the placemat, because maybe this is the only video of mine that you have seen or want to see. I want to see, because you only want to deal with the subjunctive. So thank you for coming to my site. You can subscribe, I would appreciate it, or you can give me a like. Coralla Ficklin McLean, you saw in the beginning how I spell my name. Coralla Ficklin McLean. Welcome, WYLCOME.com. I'm going to stop sharing. Say thank you very much and have a good day. Bye.